So suspended Chief Justice Gertrude Araba Tokuno abusuya yebeka ise nanse yamu ha ena chese ye suspended na wode ne nsem ekopie wo ECOWAS court wo Nigeria se omo enka bi manu se Ghana etieti na fa ahudie so all because say o se ekwan a chese ye fa so a ya suspend no se ye di na asem no ode nsem bi ebetu dwa ne press conference Musa ka present to fair hearing to the public and sinisem no or present ke ba abonten na just Ghana fo nyina etie bi no hu se ne esi ko by omomudi na asem ne se omo chief justice intino ontimi emfa ne sem emba abonten you know say good hu fia wie enti mo be bia no embla public abusuya ensem matches Chief Justice Araba Tokuno edebaton sem ne de na edox na say ye ne wo aikasem abusuya washoke Ghana biem ewo ECOWAS court chese wode ne ensem akose Ghana tie no fa wodie so enti in return no o demand $10 million from Ghana and President John Mahama for all because ometiatia ne fa wodie so na wo se assemba akokora esini trim na chese ne yapa se odruwa emema na chese ye che no ebo ne search ansan wo wura courtroom ama yakoka na asem no ose no ka ne sini trim na chese ne ya no busu aka mo ne go tie Chief Justice Gertrude Tokuno ne se wodi ko biem ewo ECOWAS court say no ama no
Suspended Chief Justice Ayoba Penny Gertrude Araba Isaba Tokonu. Wano enene omampeni ejina Ghana. Yama mrane so 1992 Constitution. Article 146 Clause 6 no eso. Nini na mrane mane ho kwan pefe. Se omampeni saka tumikrata anaso mampeni saka krata bi chese Chief Justice oti edwaso enema bi nkoyi enema bi ntwai se wo so edema Council of State na Council of State nso ehwehwema no mu se ensuo bi wom enyinaso bi wom pa na eni omampeni se wo pa committee na committee ne tena se adwuma hwe se Chief Justice ye pamono anansa wantina se na onye na adwuma eno na bra committee efi o madwuma se Justice Gabriel Scott ya poama committee ni titire ni di na ya de toso eni nti sa committee na adwuma no nkakra na omu efi ase committee na adwuma no mo efi ase Chief Justice Ababonte di kan kra etro krata ebeka che Ghana fo nyina ese ne edi kan bebia ye sa adwuma ne kra no ohun ni se enkoyie committee ni bebe ye de ama won kokotena no wase okwo a ya tututuo kakra ewo ho enti ya de a ekakai ni tete no ekakai ni niam bia ense ne mfata eno achi krase ho suspended Chief Justice okoduru ho a ase ye bo ni search ase mema bia bo ni search no obi pese ode ne nse ewura ba bia ense na emfata eno achi ose ne lawyer enema bi e wo esese ye ma ne lawyer kwan na ne lawyer ye no kra ye ma no sa akwanya no ose ni kunu ye ma kwan ese ni kunu na se busuani bi mpo eni nachi na sam ni bi pem na anka ya krokro no nkakra ewo eho eno ene nsema Chief Justice odi kan edi release ba bonten ebebo Ghana fo amane ase Ghana fo ankenkan Ghana fo antie eno achi kra eno san be ye press conference ebebo mu che Ghana fo nyina se wedie mekasa obechechie mu pa ede che Ghana fo ena Chief Justice ankasa akọ ECOWAS Court of Justice akọ ese yetietia ne fa ahodie so na ne fa ahodie so na yetietia no emra wo ho pa Angel Kasi abwawram ECOWAS Court of Justice no atemuafu a eteso ewo ho ne tie de oye PM panin pa wo ho tetitirani ewo ho Justice Honorable Justice Ricardo Claudia Montero a wono efi Kevet Vice President Justice Senyo Mohammed Koroma wono so efi Sierra Leone ena ya Ghana ni dehye pa Justice Edward Amwakon Asante na anu ya otwe ECOWAS court ni nyina eba manga na mu ha ena de otosu bio oye member Justice Watara wono efi Cote d'Ivoire ene ye Justice Dub Atipo wono so efi Nigeria na sansem we gise enya lawyer ni mapa wono ene betimi a kire ye mu pa mayate asese ne Chief Justice ne kwanso ano no anase afomumra no ewo baby private legal practitioner Gomda Abdul Aziz wano ene ye ne eba besua de ewo emra we hu kansa mame mo adwo emu akwaba mi se baby awo no eno anu no anamo chief justice suspended chief justice watui mame ni kan bisa se ye ne Ghana fo e bisa se uso mu sen eno anu no
mi ji so me se mi chira okay phone na no tell amajiwe chomuna okay but okay nka
kansa bacho odem meton kapa.
Okay. Well, as it stands, the extent of the information here in terms of Chief Justice keeps our file of ECOWAS now is only limited to what the Deputy Attorney General, Honorable Dr. Justice I just share my public because I don't think we have records or copies of the contents of Adia on our Chief Justice Nafari or suspended Chief Justice no. Actually in the court. And if you look at information the Honorable Deputy Chief Justice and Deputy Attorney General shared with the public, basically, or share say, Chief Justice needs challenge the legality of the suspension law, which, from where limits now, is a constitutional matter. And that is the ECOWAS court no almost jurisdiction to entertain and hear matters of human rights violations. For now, we can share the exact nature of Chief Justice case because those matters have not been public yet. But relying on the information Deputy Attorney General has shared to the public, I understand we say or challenging the legality of the suspension and the power to suspend the Chief Justice. The Afema Constitution has provided for and has provided the procedure by which President who has the power to suspend the Chief Justice, who is a subject of a removal proceeding. So the procedural requirements are laid down clearly in the Constitution. And the question you ask yourself is challenging the legality of the suspension as provided under Article 146 of the Constitution, to which the President of Ghana has the power to bring, is that challenge to be done within our local courts or within a community court like ECOWAS court. And as mentioned earlier, ECOWAS court, in addition to some other jurisdictions or more, they have the power to determine human rights violation. Is this issue a human rights violation? It is based on what the Deputy Attorney General has shared with the public. I don't think it's a human rights violation. And if it is not a human rights violation and it's an issue challenging a constitutional authority, clearly, every court by its establishment is regulated by a law. And ECOWAS courts, no, the jurisdiction is established by the ECOWAS treaty and accompanying protocols, which confers its jurisdiction. And jurisdiction is basically the power of a court to determine certain matters. And the law, no, manu and confer a particular power in the court to determine a matter. The court cannot go into that matter.
Okay.
And if you look at the jurisdiction conferred by the ECOWAS treaty and the accompanying protocols that establish the ECOWAS Court of Justice, determining the validity of constitutional injunctions and constitutional powers of domestic, domestic in nature or national sovereign countries is not part of our jurisdiction. So ECOWAS Court is meant to determine whether the President of Ghana has exercised his power under Article 146 correctly or otherwise. Common is our power. The only power they might have as it relates to the individual is where there are allegations of violations of human rights.
Council Minchawano ba oshe the Deputy Attorney General Justice Msai eposti yana part ni bi kasa ese suspended Chief Justice HSE yetieti anefa ahudie so human right na yanhwe ne said ye wo kan agana fo etie wi nyina no se eyampa se yetieti anefa ahudie so na ECOWAS court ewo jurisdiction a ebetimi affect ye o betimi akase da bi mu tietia ma me ne fa ahodie stunti no munyai na wo metena senya na adwuma bibisa betimi asi.
Okay, it is on general human rights violation. Of course, the ECOWAS court, community court has the jurisdiction. And even in our within our domestic setting as Ghana, not every matter borders on human rights. Not every allegation of constitutional violation constitutes human rights violation. And like I said, we have not had the benefit of the content of the application or the process of filing was conducted in ECOWAS court. As relying on what the deputy attorney general can, he is basically, and if I may, I think what the deputy attorney general said was that, I'm quoting the deputy attorney general, that essentially, the leadership agreed that by suspension, she, another quote, has effectively been removed from her official capacity without the final determination, impairing her right to function and serve in a position she was constitutionally appointed to. And that right now makes reference to it's a right created under Article 146, or it's a right created under the Constitution which confers powers on her. Then Article 146 can also govern the president's power to suspend a chief who is subject to this removal proceedings. Please remember. Now, make it very clear that that's
Council, wadaruma onna no kakra bi ma yɛ sɛ anoma bi twetwetwa wa homa anima nti mu nhyɛ enkoyi.
Hello,
kasa menhwɛ.
Yeah,
me pa cha fe odem wadaruma odem TNT.
The point I was making was that yes, the ECOWAS court has jurisdiction in the human rights violation. But if you look at the nature of the plan, okay, before the ECOWAS completed by the deputy attorney general, my view is that the ECOWAS community court only needs jurisdiction in the matter because it borders on challenging the authority of the president to suspend her. And the ECOWAS community court doesn't have jurisdiction to determine whether our president has complied with the constitution or not. It's a sovereign matter for which our courts have jurisdiction to determine on such matters. And the court in Ghana, for the purpose of determining whether the constitution has been complied with or not, is the Supreme Court. And clearly, Chief Justice is currently before the Supreme Court, challenging her suspension, challenging the removal and all those things. And I am very convinced that the Supreme Court is competent enough to make that determination. And I know she has supervised or she has presided over the Supreme Court for some time, and I'm very convinced she is so aware that the Supreme Court is competent. But on challenging whether the suspension is valid or not, and impairing her from functioning as a Chief Justice, I'm sorry to say that based on my review and understanding of the rules and the laws are establishing on manner establishing ECOWAS court now, I'll be surprised to hear that they have entertained that matter. Clearly, I expect them to say that, well, if you are complaining of human rights violations, they are here to hear you out. But if you are challenging your suspension, unfortunately, I don't think the law that established that ECOWAS community court gives them the power to make inquiries into the legality or otherwise of the suspension by the president for which he's complaining about.
Okay, as a council metiasie here, and yama mienu and a waka ayatiasie. Near the kind say Chief Justice, Kwani de Wako, Cecilia, Deputy Attorney General Cassadia, Nese Oko, Nemum so Kose, on Tiasie a choir ye faso, a ye in the Tua Kunya, aye ni Muru Shema, and the ECOWAS court in the Betimaka Chenzama, and said, why are quine, waffle quine, Nemum or Konoko can say, Ebia ye tiatia me found who dear so I becca say, the human rights. And I trampled upon dear. And ye, omobetie na semino, na ometie dear woman potting tia. Yet it and I say it and found you so. Sababe na pese yetiasie.
Exactly, no.
Na ebeti mi abase ne fa ho die na o ka se ye tietia so no. Ombehwem etie na asema wie na ma confirm say ane ye tie ma me ni nkurobo nyina wie a ye hu ne se Ghana ban ene Ghana fo nyina mu tete nti ne mo ye no munyai eno emra no ma ho kwan na omu make any pronouncement a ebetimi abase esese yesesa bibi ana ye bibi mana saa ne fa ahudie na ye bubu so no ye bejai.
Is in respect of the human rights violation?
Yes, in respect of the human rights violation.
Yes, in respect of human rights violations, the ECOWAS court has the power to make those determinations. And there's something very interesting about the ECOWAS court. Unlike other international courts, and even in Africa, there's a court known as the African Court for Human and People Rights. In those courts, there's a pending human rights case within your local jurisdiction. The court would not entertain your matter, even if it's human rights violation. But for ECOWAS court, that one, at least based on the decision in the past and also the law that established the court. Even if there's a pending human rights case, the court will still entertain you. So for ECOWAS court, yes, they can look into the matter and make the determination if it is about human rights. But at the end of the day, if they make the decision, enforcement becomes another issue because it becomes a state interstate relational issues, because at the end of the day, any individual know that would ensure compliance and enforcement of the judgment. It is the institution of ECOWAS and its member states. And there's always that political question that, yes, if you have a judgment and the state for which the judgment is won against refuses to comply, what is the way forward? But of course, it depends on Ghana's own reputation under the international community. And we live in an era where we want an international community that respects international law. And I am very confident that Ghana, for the past years, has demonstrated that they are leaders in Africa in ensuring rule of law. So if they make a determination, and that determination is to the effect that the government has focused in some way, I'm sure through the appropriate agencies, we can ensure compliance and see what happens.
Right. Council ma ye na wasepa na ye mfa unsi a obre no adaja wenya ede ama yesua ade e wo nchen. Private legal practitioner Gomda Abdul Aziz lawyer ni mapapa wono ene ne Chief Justice ede oman Ghana oman nyina enyo mampani o we Ghana or the Ghana ena akopiem wo ECOWAS Court of Justice osi yetieti anefa ahudie so we ni nsema Deputy Attorney General and Minister for Justice Justice Sermsai wabe posti wo ni Facebook na edi honkomo enti niema mienu ena obetimi de akọ court na baako ena ode kwa ene ECOWAS court ni betia ne ebetie ni yie pa etimi de anu yaba enne se Ghana fo nyina yetieti anefa ahudie so meni Eugene kura ye ka ho bi ti you ene say ye de ka yenko ye